The rain had just stopped. The city streets were still wet, reflecting the bright lights of passing cars. People hurried along the sidewalks, eager to reach their homes after a long day. The air felt fresh and cool, and the sound of water dripping from buildings echoed softly through the evening. But on the side of a busy road, a girl stood quietly. She wore simple clothes and held an old bag close to her chest. To most people passing by, she looked like an ordinary poor girl waiting for the bus. Yet if someone looked closely at her face, they would immediately notice something extraordinary. She was incredibly beautiful. Her eyes were deep and gentle, filled with a quiet innocence that felt rare in a busy city like this. Her hair moved slightly with the evening breeze, and her face had a calm and natural beauty that no expensive makeup could ever match. People walked past her without noticing, but someone did notice. A black luxury car slowly pulled over near the roadside. Inside the car was a young man driving alone. His name was Adrian Malik. Adrian was one of the most powerful businessmen in the entire city. His companies were worth billions of dollars. Investors from different countries competed to work with him, and many people dreamed of reaching the level of success he had achieved. Despite his wealth and status, Adrian often preferred to drive his own car. He believed that a person should always control the direction of their own life. That evening, he had just finished an important business meeting and was driving back to his luxury apartment. His mind had been busy with numbers, contracts, and future plans, but everything changed the moment he saw her. His eyes suddenly stopped on the girl standing near the bus stop. Without realizing it, he slowly pressed the brake. The car stopped. For a few seconds, Adrian simply stared at her. In his life, he had attended countless parties, business events, and social gatherings. He had met many beautiful women, models, celebrities, and socialites. But this girl was different. There was something about her simplicity, something pure and natural, that immediately caught his attention. It was not just beauty. It was something deeper, something that quietly touched his heart. Just then, a bus arrived. The girl stepped inside and disappeared behind the closing doors. Adrian blinked, as if waking up from a short dream. For a moment, he hesitated. Then suddenly he started his car and followed the bus. Even he did not fully understand why he was doing this. The bus moved away from the bright downtown streets and slowly entered an older part of the city. Tall buildings were replaced with smaller houses. Bright lights turned into dim street lamps. It was a poorer neighborhood. Eventually, the bus stopped. The girl stepped down and began walking through a narrow street. Adrian parked his car at a distance and quietly watched. She walked slowly until she reached a small old house with faded walls. She opened the door and disappeared inside. Adrian remained in his car for a long moment. He could not stop thinking about what he had just seen. A girl so beautiful, living such a simple and difficult life. For the first time in years, Adrian felt something strange in his heart. Curiosity, concern, and something that felt very close to love. The next day, Adrian found himself driving to the same road again. He told himself it was just curiosity, but deep inside, he knew that wasn't the truth. He was hoping to see her again, and there she was, standing at the same bus stop, waiting quietly. Adrian parked his car and slowly walked toward her. For a moment, he felt nervous, something he had not felt in a long time. Finally, he spoke. "Hello." The girl turned toward him with a slightly surprised expression. "Yes?" Adrian smiled gently. "My name is Adrian." She looked at him carefully for a moment before answering. "My name is Anna." That was the beginning. At first, their conversations were short and simple. A few polite words, a few quiet smiles, but Adrian kept coming back every day. Little by little, they began to talk more. He learned that Anna lived with her mother. Her father had passed away several years ago, leaving them with many financial struggles. To support the family, Anna worked in a small shop nearby. Her life was simple and sometimes difficult, but she carried herself with dignity and quiet strength. Adrian admired that about her. He had grown up surrounded by wealth, luxury, and opportunity. Anna had grown up surrounded by challenges. Yet somehow, she seemed stronger than many people he knew. Anna had grown up surrounded by challenges, yet somehow she seemed stronger than many people he knew. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. Adrian realized something very important. He was falling in love with her. One evening, after gathering all his courage, Adrian said something that surprised even himself. "Anna, I want to marry you." Anna looked at him in shock. For a moment, she thought he might be joking, but his expression was completely serious. She remained silent for a few seconds. Then she slowly shook her head. "I can't marry a rich man." Adrian felt as if the world had suddenly stopped. No one had ever rejected him like that before. "Why?" he asked quietly. Anna looked down at the ground before answering. "Because rich men don't love people," she said softly. "They control them." Her words were calm but firm. Adrian had no answer. That day he returned home feeling something he had never experienced before: rejection. But he did not give up. Instead, he tried harder. He continued visiting Anna every day. Sometimes he brought medicine for her mother. Sometimes he brought books for Anna. Sometimes he simply stood outside and talked with her for a few minutes. He never tried to impress her with his money. He only showed kindness and sincerity. Months passed. Anna slowly began to realize something. Adrian was different. He was not trying to buy her love. He was trying to earn it. One evening, as the sun was setting, Anna looked at him and asked, "Why are you doing all this?" Adrian looked directly into her eyes. "Because I love you." Anna felt tears forming in her eyes. For a long time, she had believed that rich people only cared about power and money. But Adrian had shown her something else: patience, respect, true affection. After a long silence, Anna finally spoke again. "I was afraid of you," she admitted. "I thought you were like the others." Adrian smiled gently. Love doesn't care about money. Weeks later, Anna made a decision. One evening, she looked at Adrian and said softly, "If you truly want a simple life with me, then I will marry you." For a moment, Adrian could not speak. Then a smile slowly appeared on his face. It was the happiest moment of his life. Months later, they had a small and beautiful wedding. People across the city were shocked. A billionaire businessman had married a poor girl from a small neighborhood. But Adrian didn't care about what people said, because to him, Anna was not just a poor girl. She was the most valuable person in his entire life, and their story proved something powerful. True love is never about money. It is about the heart.